your CIGTV News Update. I'm Donna Bush. We begin by taking a look back at the arrival of Governor Anwar Chowdhury to the Cayman Islands this week. It's been a busy 4 days for His Excellency, who on Thursday morning answered questions from the media at his first official local press briefing.
There's a fine balance here. There always is between the elected government's role and your role in these crime issues.
Yes.
So what needs to happen now on the National Security Council, in your view, that isn't happening now? Do they just need to meet more, or is there something else that needs to go on?
Well, I think the Premier has hinted on it quite strongly in what he has said. What needs to happen, first and foremost, is that it needs to work. And it needs to be clear on the priorities, and it needs to be action-orientated, and it needs to focus. I'm not a great person for meetings, just meeting more. That's all right when it's necessary. We will meet more, for sure. I think there is such an amount of work to do. I think we will probably meet every month because the work is there. But meeting for meeting's sake is not my thing. And we will focus those meetings very clearly with a time limit. I already get the sense that the members of the committee want it to be an action-orientated committee, want it to be a focused committee. They don't want to spend hours discussing politics or anything else. It's about decision-making, it's about having a common understanding and a united action on issues of national security.
Later on Thursday, he was introduced to all chief and deputy chief officers. On Wednesday, Governor Chowdhury visited Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. He was given a warm welcome on the Brac by senior government officials. He also met school children, senior citizens, and many residents, including the island's firemen. He was given a tour of the island and visited the Kirkconnell Community Care Center for the elderly. And he also spent time at the Aston Ruddy Center, where entertainment and food was provided, and many from the Brac community attended the gathering. Over on Little Cayman, His Excellency was greeted by the 2 students on the island, the police and firemen. He then visited with staff at the Cayman Islands Marine Institute. While there, he learned all about the facility, which is used by people from around the world for marine research. He visited with residents on the littlest of the 3 Cayman Islands while there. Now, Governor Chowdhury was joined by Premier the Honorable Alden McLaughlin and Minister and Deputy Premier the Honorable Moses Kirkconnell, as well as Minister the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, as he toured the sister islands. Back on Tuesday night, His Excellency held his first reception at the Governor's House for 150 invited guests from the business community, judiciary, and voluntary organizations. Earlier on Tuesday, he met with senior government and elected officials at the Government Administration Building. On Monday night, Governor Chowdhury and his family attended a public reception at Pedro St. James, where hundreds of residents showed up to meet him. Throughout the evening, there was lots of entertainment, speeches, and a presentation of gifts to His Excellency from Premier the Honorable Alden McLaughlin. On Monday afternoon, His Excellency was officially sworn in as the 13th Governor of the Cayman Islands before elected members and the nation. He and his wife and 3 daughters landed at the Owen Roberts Airport just after 11 on Monday morning, where they received a warm welcome from Deputy Governor Mr. Franz Manderson and Premier Mr. Alden McLaughlin. Governor Chowdhury was given the royal salute from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service and met all elected officials and staff from his office. Governor Chowdhury comes to us from Lima, Peru, where he served as UK ambassador since 2013. In other news, and speaking of our sister islands, the Cayman Turtle Center made history recently by releasing 8 yearling green sea turtles into the wild for the first time on Cayman Brac. A press release tells us government leaders, local residents, and visitors to the island gathered at the Southside Public Beach recently to witness the turtles making their way out into the open sea, joining the 31,000-plus turtles already released by the center. The turtles were flown on Cayman Airways in water-filled tubs and then carried by the Turtle Center's conservation team to the water's edge to start their journey into the wild. Senior civil servants and students from Layman E. Scott High School released the turtles one by one. A large percentage of those turtles are expected to survive until adulthood. Then they return to the beach from which they were released to lay their eggs. That's supposed to happen in about 20 to 25 years' time. Wow. Finally, on our CIGTV News this Thursday, right before the Easter holidays, the RCIPS is reminding residents to be safe in the water, a favorite pastime this time of year.
Operating a vessel while under the influence of alcohol severely impairs your judgment and your kinetic skills. As such, you can be a danger to yourself, your crew, and other water users. Please remember, a boat captain must be a responsible adult, and children under the age of 15 should not be allowed to operate a vessel. This is especially so in rough sea conditions or around crowded areas where there are a lot of other vessels or swimmers in the water. Another key area for boaters to be safe during this holiday season is to ensure that your vessel is equipped with the proper safety equipment. As such, ensure that you have proper functioning navigation lights, life vests for all persons on board, two-way radio, cell phone communications, flashlight, and other means to communicate should an emergency arise during your time on the water this holiday season.
And if you missed today's news update, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush with your CIG TV News Update. Thank you for joining us this week. We invite you to do the same again next Tuesday. Until then, have a safe and amazing and blessed Easter holiday. And bye-bye for now.